just in case you were unsure.
So the mics are on, the volume's up, everybody's ready to rock and roll. Are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I'm just putting this on Do Not Disturb. There we go.
I know, that's what I done.
That's a good idea.
Do we do that?
And also, before we start, in the event of a fire, the exits are over to the right and the window is there.
And if the fire was there, it's out there.
That's it. Move the table, put the mics down and jump out. Aye, excellent. So how's your day been, Cammy?
It's been productive.
It's been productive.
Let's go with that, yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Nah, neither have I. I'm trying to be a more organised, productive person.
Right.
Trying to be.
How's that going for you?
I've not made any money yet, so it's going to shout.
Yes.
Got to keep pushing, got to push.
Started a new
How
limited
you
company
getting on?
yesterday.
Winning. Choosing my winning days.
Tuesday's a winning day. That's
It is.
brilliant. See, I've never heard that. I've never heard that one. I've never heard that one before. So I've started recording, by the way.
That's the bit I didn't realise until after that question happened, to be
I love
honest.
it. Well, Kev actually mentioned this last week. Just start recording when you come through the door. Just pick up the content, and this is a learning experience for us. So I'll introduce you. We've got Cammy Young, the tech guy. It's here helping us, and multiple streams of income through your businesses. We've got Andy Lowe as well, tech guy, entrepreneur.
I feel like anybody that knows how to switch on their mobile phone is a tech guy to Johnny.
I play with magic tricks and decks of cards. That's all I do.
And myself, it's obviously a tech guy because you put me in the phone.
Yes.
Mr. Dinosaur.
The seat here, and I am the least techie guy here. But we have our visitor, our very special visitor here, Kevin Kitt from House of Ikigai.
The tech guy.
The tech guy and the
Whoa.
E
Tech guy
guy.
as well. The guy is an Instagram sensation, I believe, as well. So I've been desperate to get you on this podcast here, Kev, because I met you probably about a month ago, and you're without doubt one of the most positive people I've ever met. Articulate everything beautifully, and sometimes when you meet people like that, you kind of think they're a lot of nonsense, it's fake. But I don't think for 1 second you're fake. I think you're actually an inspiration to a lot of people, and you make people smile when they meet you. That's from my opinion anyway, definitely. I mean, can you tell our viewers, our listeners a little about you and the House of Ikigai and where it's all came, where it's came from, where you've came from?
Absolutely. I think that quite readily people see me as the positive dude, and
Right.
I tend to have a beware disclaimer. People say that, you give all the compliments and I love hanging out with you. And I say, beware, I just tell you the truth and the facts. And if it's going to be honest nonetheless. And I think authenticity is the key. Without that, what are we? So, House of Ikigai, where it comes about is, I call it dissolving of many, many egos and realizing that we need to live with purpose. And without that, I say, I've got lots of Kevisms. Without purpose, what's the point? And we just have to live our best YOLO, let's go life.
I love that. I love that strap line there.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's definitely happening.
PsyOps. Psychological warfare. It's happening.
That's a dedication, the purpose of moving forward.
It does.
Making an impact. So how long have you been running with House of Ikigai?
Technically, it's been limited for 2 years.
Right.
Its previous evolution was Smile with Kev.
Right,
And
okay.
it was the happy chappy, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the dude who's going to help you out with your teeth, Smiley Kev, with hypnotherapy as well as some Botox and fillers. Mm-hmm. And it evolved to House of Ikigai. My strapline was previously Achiever Happy. And over the last few years, I've decided that happiness is not what we should follow.
All right, so explain. Let's go down. I like the saying the rabbit hole. That's one of the things I always say. So let's explore that a bit further. Where did that come from? Where did that derive from?
I call it hellfire. When
Right.
you realise and chase something for long enough and you realise that you've got that happiness and it feels a little bit empty. And also I intellectualise a lot. And what I mean by that is when you really think about it, if we put happiness on a pedestal, then that also means that we shouldn't celebrate sadness, solace, regret. And I believe that all feelings are valid. Happiness is something that we work towards a goal. And once you reach it, you're not really you look for happy again. So I want something that's more infinite and perpetual. Excuse the wanky words. I'm. This is probably my brand. If it's not wanky words, I'm not going to give it to you.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. And you know, you've got to be unique, you've got to be different, all these things. You've got to be against the grain as well. That's what makes you stand out. But it's coming from that authentic being. And you certainly are authentic. You know, this is more, maybe this is actually more calmer, I've seen you actually. And this is the truth be told as well. But I love it as well. I know you make some valid points when I've met you at networking events and Toastmasters, and just generally when I came down to see you as well. You are different but better than what I normally see in business owners and entrepreneurs. What makes you like that?
Better.
What makes you you? And again, that might sound a bit wanky as well. But what makes you you? What makes you be that smiley person, that articulate person? What's your background? Where's the starting point from Kev to where he is now? Because I would imagine that road's full of hurt, pain, failures and success, because that makes you stronger and more resilient. You know, if you're happy to share some of these things, because I think for our listeners and our viewers, they see for what we are just now, but there's a backstory to where we are just now, and when we are in where we're going to be in 10 years, it's a story we're going through and living.
Totally.
It's just nice to know if you want to share it. I mean, Andy's got a story, Cammy's got a story. You know, where were you 5 years ago before House of Ikigai, which was 2 years being a limited company?
I'll take you back to day dot, and thank you so much for sharing that. I truly believe that we all have a story. I'll bring it back to day dot, which is I'm Chinese and I've got that expectation of being a dentist or doing well and serving and looking after mum and dad. That's what's been literally drilled into me. And it was very much from the context of they sacrificed so much for me. They moved from Hong Kong all the way to the UK. And it was the fear of Hong Kong being passed back to China that there will be loss of opportunity. And they picked up everything and moved to UK in the context of helping me have a better life. They worked 84-hour weeks, and Dad always said repeatedly that their job is to work so that they have money. And some of you have kids, you understand that you'll do anything for your child. Mm-hmm. And my job was to study hard so that their sacrifices wouldn't be in vain. And with that in mind, I held a lot of burden, which is I need to do them proud. And to not do them proud is a waste of their life. And I've been holding that for all of my time, all the way through university, even up until 2018. And the biggest turning point was me donating a kidney. And realizing that there was a 1 in 3,000 chance that I could have died. And this is where ultimately YOLO Let's Go comes from. Literally, when you understand that we're going to die at any time, that I should have a disclaimer that people might be highly affected by the content of this podcast, because I think we need to embrace death as well. And when you truly understand the finality of life, then you literally live with purpose, and you forget that. You have to let go of this idea of pleasing everyone. And that's ultimately when you're saying, what is it that makes me different? Just being me.
There's a mic drop moment, eh? There is a
We're not
definite
going to
mic
follow
drop.
that.
Cammy, can you follow that one?
Nah.
I mean that's deep, but it gives people an idea of where you're at. I mean, there was a Denzel Washington quote, and I think we said this, or I said it the last time I met you, when you're on your deathbed and you've got all your regret round you, saying, we came to you and you did absolutely nothing. You did nothing for yourself. You did nothing for us. You just kept it stagnant. And when I've listened to you before, that's why I came up with that. Well, I mentioned that because that was a moment in time. You are going to die one day, and you are living your life. And you said it in one of the previous episodes as well. You're living your life every single day. Yes, you're working and whatnot, but you're living, and it's how much you want to live. Who do you want to be around? What kind of energy do you want to be around? Do you want to be doing things that you enjoy? Do you know? Or do you want to be sad, depressed, lonely, isolated? Because let's be honest, business is difficult. I mean, you've been doing your magic and many a different. You're spinning loads of plates. I've always got this. See, when I've spoke to people, I went, Cammy's going to be broke or a multi-millionaire. You're just driven all the time. You're always into something.
Still waiting to get to the second one, but one day you never fucking know.
Aye. So where's the journey? We've heard a little bit about Kevin. Well, we need to go back more onto that one. I mean, where are we at with you now, Cammy? You're doing the festival show again?
Yeah, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. To be honest, I'm in the most peaceful way I would say I've ever been. Now,
Right.
I've not got the pressure of trying to find the work as much anymore, like I have been over the years. But the pandemic, as a magician, the pandemic was hell. I think, but obviously not just as a magician, for so many different companies, but having a new company just before lockdown that you've spent your entire everything into, to lose it all pretty much overnight, to basically redo it all again, that's been the challenging part. But now it's at the stage where it's been redone, that I'm enjoying it. I'm out working every weekend. It's Edinburgh Fringe is exciting because I'm learning a brand new show, and yeah, I don't feel the pressures on my shoulders anymore that I felt for the last 6 or 7 years. They seem to have dropped, which is nice. It's nice to have that. And then I've also changed the environments I'm around. I'm kind of, they always say you're most like the people you hang around with the most. So going to like our networking events, people like yourself, Andy, we spend a lot of time together and we've kind of got the same mindset. Spending time with Johnny and Kev, massive, like just having conversation with you guys. These are different to like friends that just think the 9 to 5 is the norm and that you can't do something with your life. And I think just looking at things, I used to look at things like these, every small thing was such a big deal, and it's no longer a big deal. It's just at that moment, that's all your mindset is on. And I think you just have to open up and go, yeah, there's no point in worrying about everything else. It'll all happen. Just enjoy it and stop worrying about what's going on. And that's what I've just changed, I think, a little bit, I would say.
No, definitely. I mean, would you, we spoke in previous episodes, Andy, about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset's an incredibly great tool to get, if you're studying, you talked about YouTube videos, studying that, getting better. And one of these key metrics, or however you discuss it, the mind is one of these smallest things in your body, but it's one of the most powerful things. If you can just adapt to it and change it, alter it in the right way. I mean, you show that on a day-to-day basis. You're in control of your mind and how you articulate things, how you present yourself. Andy, you mentioned that in one of the previous episodes as well. How do you get to that point? What is it? What significance? What happens, in your life for you to realise I need to get my shit together here?
Okay, yeah, I think for me it was realising that. What did I realise? It was that why listen to people that are not qualified to give you advice? That was one of the things. All right.
Right.
And what I mean by that, and I think a lot of business owners can probably relate to this. I've had a million business ideas. Okay, some of them have been absolutely horrific. Some of them have been good ideas, but I've maybe not followed it through. Some of them I've tried it, didn't quite work, so I've just pivoted and tried something else. But I've been through 1,000 ideas, and it only needs one of them to work, to take off, and then you've done it. Okay, but all the way through that, certain members of my family have been telling me, just get a job, just do what everybody else is doing, right? Go and get a job here, go and get a job there, right? You're off your head, right? Maybe another word, right? But you're off your head. What are you trying to chase these silly dreams for? Okay, now I'm paraphrasing here, okay? But it was a realisation for me that these people are not qualified to be giving me advice. So why the hell would I listen to them?
Isn't that the same for all of us? I've had that too.
Yep.
You had that?
I've had it several times.
I've had it loads of times.
It's based on their expectations of themselves. I mean, you must have had that, from growing up and expecting everything from your, to be a doctor, to be this, and to be successful of the family, to support the family. And you've obviously done that and donating a kidney. That's one thing, but you went on your own journey, so that must have taken a lot of guts to do that.
Literally.
Well, literally.
Literally. Can't remember those.
All out there.
Comedian there.
So the question is the not listening to the noise. I have come to a realization that there's infinite opportunities out there infinite kind of noises and voices. Everyone's posting something, creating something, everyone's saying something. And the answer is to learn to say no and to know what that purpose is. If you're totally laser focused and blinkered, then everything literally is noise. It's just sounds or look over there. It's another distraction. And I do truly believe that it comes from fear of missing out. And ultimately what you had said there, Johnny, is there are elements coming from parents, but it's their journey and what they've learned from their journey in their generation, in their context. Your parents did not live in your generation, in your culture, with your technology. So they cannot, like you had said, Andy, they are not qualified. But one thing that I've really stepped into over the last few days, which blew my mind, I tend to talk to myself, I'm like, that's a great idea, is that we do not listen to people that we do not want to be like. And those elements of Johnny and Andy and your wonderful self, Cammy, I'm like, there's a part of you guys that I want to be more like, and that's the reason why I listen. And that blew my mind.
That makes a lot of sense. Because like when you look up to someone, like I'll admit Johnny, I don't want to big your head too big, but
because it's big enough.
But over the last 5 years, I've looked up to you quite a lot. Like
nice
and things, the stuff you've done and the chats we've had, and I think I'll sit down and listen to things you say, but then there'll be a lot of folk that I kind of just blank out because not deliberately. It's just I don't want to be like that person because they've not got the drive or they've not got that mentality. And I try not to give everyone a judgment straight away, but there's people maybe aren't the right person for you.
It is hard because we do try to be positive, but everybody does judge to a point. It's just trying to judge silently in the background and realising that everybody has a story to tell. And it's back to what you were saying earlier on, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with.
Yeah.
And that's been tried and said and tested through all the positive motivational speaking videos that are all out there for everybody. If they want to get on that bandwagon and get better, use the free platforms to help yourself, or find the people to hang about with, the ones that fill your cup up really with goodness. We have a bit of tit for tat, having a laugh. I'm terrible with technology, but I'm good at this and I'm good at some things. I just need the right people around that want to help me, nourish me along, and equally you want to give back. And you beat the drum with that as well from the month that I've known you. I think I've met you more than my wife in the last month, but it's because I want to meet you. You give off that vibe and you bang the drum of thinking outside the box, being different. Even when you're coming in here, you should. Can you take a suggestion, Johnny? Of course I can take a suggestion, where some people won't. They don't like it, or they'll listen and they'll blank it out again. So it's really been receptive to listen to advice, critique, because that will make you grow, where some people don't. And it's a shame. It really is a shame, because you look at our lives just now and what we're all trying to do. I think we equally know roughly what we're all trying to do individually, but collectively, collaboration, as you've mentioned, we can do a lot more, and we can help each other. Just people holding you, just in case you fall, they can catch you and push you back up. Keep going. And you see that in the sense with your friends. I like to think anyway. When things are going really well, they cheer for you, and when things are going wrong, like, it's okay, don't give up. And sometimes parents, they're basing their life experiences and trying to get you to do it. And it's one of these quotes I've heard in the past is, opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody's got them. But don't live your life based on other people's opinions. Be strong, be confident in yourself, and learn to make the screw-ups. Smile and try and dust them off. It's sore, it's difficult, but what happens if you've got a team around you? Like you guys. Imagine how safe you feel. It's okay, they'll catch me, and they'll help me, and they'll push me up, and they'll drop kick me so I can get higher the next time.
And I would say if you're listening to this or watching this, if you don't have that, it is out there. Like we're all member of a networking group, and without that group, we might not be having this conversation, and other conversations that's happened in the pipeline or before this wouldn't be happening. This podcast might not even be a thing if it wasn't for these networking groups that come together. And you can actually, like, I've got so many friends that are potentially hanging around with the wrong 4 people and their potential in life. And I'm not saying they should not become friends with these other 4 people, but they could surround themselves in different areas or people, and I've noticed that recently. I've maybe not cut people off, but maybe spent less time with the people that were maybe holding me back and spent time with people that are wanting me forward. And I think the thing that changes, and I think what I've realised is when the person you're hanging about with is excited when you win. Because like the people I hang around with now, I'm excited when they win. Mm-hmm. And I think you're with the right people when you're excited that they're winning. Like if I knew Andy was smashing it with business, I'm over the moon now. Like I want to see that happen rather than care all about myself. And that's something that you maybe don't see as much. And I think that's the difference between being in the right circle. If you're with the right circle, you care about them actually getting somewhere. And I think that's the 5 people you need to find.
Yep. I would say if you are listening to this and you're not sure where to start, why don't you send a wee email to info@thebusinessbabble.com.
Is that the email address?
That's the email address.
I didn't even know he's that professional already. He's doing
we
a
are
good job.
that professional.
Or
And yes,
touch base
indeed.
with these guys. They'll send a text message.
Tech guys.
Or-
What more tech guys?
If you want to get in touch with Johnny directly,
No, don't do that.
strap a newspaper to a carrier pigeon and hope for
Come
the
and chat my
best.
door. Come and chat my door. Do it
But-
proper old school.
But seriously, if you don't know where to start and you don't have anyone that is in that position that is going to be, or you can't find those 4 other people to be in your close group, get in touch with us because there's always room for more here.
Of course,
There
it's
is.
all about community.
It is. Where's the next 2 years look like? What does it look like for you then, Kev? In business and life, what does it look like? And I pick on you because I know you can think on the spot. Because at Toastmasters, you are tremendous at improvising very, very quickly. So that brain's just going 100 mile an hour.
Thank you. You're very, very kind. There's multiple universes going on here. So thankful for actually sharing the fact that I'm a little bit calmer. It's because I'm constricted to this and I can't flap in the microscope. So the microscope, I'm looking within. I really am. 2 years is too far, and I've also came to a realization that I need to work in 90-day sprints because this idea, I'll bring it back to the idea that I've got nothing wrong with me, by the way. I just feel as if there's an essence of that we could literally, I'll bring it back to death, that we could literally die anytime. We could get run over by a bus, something could happen. There was a power cut the other time, and were you part of it? Like, there was
I
literally,
wasn't, but I remember it, yeah.
it felt like the end of the world. It was like 3 weeks ago, I was mid treatment and everything went off. And then 5-10 minutes later, there was literally like sirens and everything. It was I felt like the purge at the beginning of the end. And you hear of people that they have a heart attack, and people who are listening, if you've got friends or people around you or neighbors, or you interact with other human beings, you'll know that some people have health issues and you just never ever know. So 90-day sprints is what I do because COVID happened and another COVID could happen. Something else could happen. So if I think too far in the distance, then I feel as if there's so much more time. And
Right.
if we work in 90-day sprints, then we can get things done and move things forward.
That's a good analogy. It's a good way of looking at things. What about yourself, Cammy? Because I know you're taking over the world. You know,
I'm working on quite a lot of projects, but I think at the moment it's trying to build my circle, trying to keep the best connections, trying to see the positive side in everybody. I think throughout the pandemic, I went into a completely negative space. I've spoke to you in depth about it, Johnny, and we've talked about mind a lot. And I probably was in a really, like, I don't want to use the word depression, but I would say I was as close to that as I physically could have been at one point. And I've now seen the other side of it, and my goal is just to be enjoying life. And I think that's my main goal for the next 2 years. Yeah, I'm working on Magic and a few other companies, and every single minute I'm awake, all I do is work on companies. But the main focus for me is just making sure that when I wake up, I'm actually doing something I enjoy. And with people I enjoy spending that time with doing it. So like me and Andy are working on a project. I'm really enjoying doing that because we've both got the kind of same mindset. We're both working on it, but we can also have a laugh and it's not as serious as it could be. And that's pretty much it. I've obviously got shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. I've got several businesses I'm working as part of, but I'm also just trying to make it so it's not going to put me in a place I have been in the past.
that's fair enough. And well, can you tell us a little bit about your show then in Edinburgh?
Yeah, so Over the last few years, I have been doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival since 2017. This will be my 8th and 9th show this year, so I'm doing 2 shows at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. The main one is through the Gilded Balloon every single night at 8:20 p.m. called The Scottish Magician, because last year, if you've heard of the duo magicians Penn and Teller, I actually performed a show with Penn Gillette's child Moxie Gillette, who we'd done a double act with. It was a fantastic show. We actually won the best new show at the Edinburgh Fringe last year through the Derrick Award system. And it just gave me the thrive to come back, but to do my own solo show. So this year is completely different. I'm actually going to try and be a bit of a comedian in this show, which is something I've never done before. So it's less magic and more comedy as well. So it's something exciting, but I've never seen the Scottish magician, and Edinburgh Festival is all about Scotland. So it's quite nice to be able to put the impact of Scotland involved in it.
So with that thought, what got you to that way of thinking then, turning a bit of comedy into it? What was your way of thinking with that?
Well, my main job is doing weddings. I perform hundreds of weddings every year and drinks receptions, hosting speeches, and I've realised that I'm not a magician, I'm more of an entertainer. And I think that's maybe a mindset switch, but when I'm doing the magic, if I make people laugh every 30 seconds, my reviews are 10 times better. And it's not just about getting reviews for myself, it's actually just the experience. Afterwards, they want to be my friend, or like I've got the all out me on Instagram because they think I'm the funny guy that's at the weddings, and now the jokes are in tune. Like I could tell you which beat I'm going to say the jokes in.
Right.
So I'd love to be able to do that on stage. And the best magicians I've ever seen, they'll perform one trick and it'll last like 15 minutes. And I'm not saying I want to do that. Maybe 2 tricks, 15 minutes to begin with. But before it used to be like 7 tricks every 10 minutes. And I don't want that anymore. I want to be able to story tell long out. And I've never been known as the funny guy, but then, well, like we've been talking about, to be fair, it's like your inner circle. My family tells me I'm not the funniest guy in the world. My friends tell me I'm not the funniest guy in the world because I've never done stand-up comedy in front of my friends, because it's not the ideal place. And I've held myself back for the past probably 10 years from trying comedy because I just feel like it's not my place. But over the last year or two, I've developed this idea of like, I think I actually could be funny if I write it, spend time on it, and my friends and family don't come to any shows till at least the 15th night. I might be in a position where I can do the comedy side of things. So I've wrote a script and it makes me laugh. So I know I'm going to enjoy performing it. Whether people laugh or don't, you'll never know, but the Edinburgh Fringe is probably the place to try it.
Well, if you don't try, you don't get.
Exactly.
Don't get.
Yeah.
Is that the way you're saying it?
If you don't try, you don't get.
You don't ever know. But again, that's a great idea, just to keep pushing yourself and trying things that are different. No, I've got no doubt you'll make a success of yourself, Cammy. No doubt whatsoever. You're definitely dedicated to your craft, and you keep pushing yourself. There's some knockbacks that you've had in life, as we all have, but you're here. You keep moving forward, and just remember to give yourself a pat on the back, and definitely a pat on the back for me, mate.
Cheers. And what's your next 2 years?
I want to learn technology.
You've nailed it already, mate.
Oh, the colours. I know. I'm just, you know what? It's not about the finances, right? And that's not from a place that I'm loaded or anything like that. And this is the real talking. I just want to experience some nice things. I want to experience nice holidays every year. And I want to turn left on the plane now and again. That's simple. I live relatively a good life. I'm healthy. I've got healthy kids, got a healthy wife. The business is doing well. I've still got that drive internally to just keep trying new things, keep moving. And I want to actually just be around more and more great people. It's not for them. When you're younger, you want to be known as the it guy, and you want to be, everybody talking about. I don't want that. I want the quiet in the background, believe it or not, even though I'm quite loud sometimes. And it's not, you're 16, you're young, you want to be known to be around all these cool people and wealthy people. It's amazing that even the people that are extremely wealthy, a lot of them can be quite sad as well and quite lonely. I just want to be around people that can actually give me a bit of an education, a punt in the right direction, I would say. And get my kids up there. And I want my kids to start learning the ethics of hard work, because I feel they've got it too easy just now. My eldest is 14, and I want her to start working now, because legally you can work at 14. I think it's only about 7 hours a week. But I want her to understand the value of money because now she's grown up in a generation where it's just cards. So she doesn't see it, she doesn't feel it, she can't touch it. So she needs to get a reality check. And it's a shame that it's happened now. I wish it happened earlier, that's my fault. But really, what do I expect? I just want to keep enjoying things. I want to have more ups and downs. That's what I would say. What about you, Andy?
Before I answer that, I'm going to just throw one back at you, right? So you said there that you want your kids to learn the ethos of hard work.
Uh-huh.
All right. Why do you think you want them to learn how to work hard? Because I've got a son as well, and I'm trying to teach him how to work smart. Because I think life should be easy. Okay, and if there's a way that you can live your life so that you're happy, but you're also relaxed and you're content and everything just works for you, why do you have to knock your pan in?
I wouldn't say it's a case of knocking your pan in. What I mean by that, definitely being able to work. Being able to work hard means a few things, right? Get up early. Get up early and fight for your day, right? That means if you start your work at 9, I expect you to get up early and be on time. And being early is on time. So that's working hard, right? Giving yourself a bit of structure and discipline. Do I want my son or daughter going out lifting plasterboard every day and hurting their body? No, I don't. But I want them to understand the ethics of what hard work is. Being on time, being disciplined, being friendly, being caring, helping, that's hard work as well. And in my mind, that's what hard work looks like. I don't want them to break their body and then get to where I'm at. And I'm not 40 yet, by the way. When I get to 40, I've got aches and pains, knees, a bit of arthritis in my hand a bit, and my wrist. That I don't want them to get that. I want them to live to 90, but I want them to also understand the hard work that's involved to self-develop and getting your mindset. Because I think now, and we spoke about this in previous episodes, we're going to go to a worldwide payroll for people because there's a lot of lazy people out there, and that's sad. It is what it is, right? And you can't change everyone, but you can change a small amount of people along the way and help them. But we're going to go to a worldwide payroll because AIs will take over. There'll be robots that will do some jobs. And if you said this 10 years ago, people would laugh at you. More people are now being more receptive to this and going, that might be happening. It's going to happen very quickly. And the generation after my son and kid, they're going to find it equally harder. It's just a different generational shift. They'll find a way around it. But my daughter and son have to understand the elements of working a bit harder, more efficient, working smart, being able to adapt, being resilient and being mindful as well. So having everything in check, that's what I want, and that's what I mean by hard work as well. And understand the fruits of their labour. What you give out, you'll get back eventually, but don't just wait for taking and taking. That's the wrong mentality. And that's things that you echo in your day-to-day life as well. I want to give as much as I possibly can. I know a lot of the Gary Vee stuff that we watch, it's all about giving. Mm-hmm. And the hope, and the vain hope, I think anyway, or my interpretation is you'll get something back from it eventually down the line. But just give. And eventually you will receive. I know you see it a wee bit differently. Just give. And, don't look for receiving anything. But, human traits for me, I'm like, kind of expecting something back, pal. That's,
It's the art of giver's game.
We kiss and a cuddle.
Well, a kiss and a cuddle. No reach around, just a kiss and a cuddle. That's it. See what I did there? Made it funnier. I'll teach you comedy. No, don't. I'm terrible at it. What about you?
What was the question?
We just went having a total tangent.
Next 2 years.
Next 2 years for you.
You dodged a question
next 2 years, I thought I dodged it, but you came back. Okay,
thanks,
so
Cammy.
Next 2 years for me.
Yeah,
is that what you're asking? Okay, so I'm at a stage now where I've seen a bit of success in some of the businesses that I've launched. And I've come to a realisation, this is kind of why I asked you that question, is that I come to a realisation that the way the world works just now, in my opinion, is broken. Okay? I.e., people think that they have to get up and they have to slave and they have to work a 9 to 5 and they have to do this and they have to work really hard and break their body and then they retire at 65, or by the time I'm that age, it'll be 85, and then they die a year later. And I'm just going to actually pause that a wee second and give you a fun fact. Okay.
Go for it. I love
The
that.
reason that the retirement age is 65, do you know what it is? It's because when that was decided, the average life expectancy was 66. Okay. So you worked all your life, you retired at 65, and it gave you a year to get your affairs in order before you died. That's why the retirement age is set at 65, or at least
It's
it
not
was.
increased now.
I think probably has, right? But anyway, we'll resume that topic. I just popped in my head, I thought I'd tell you. So I've come to this realisation that life doesn't need to be like that, okay? And I want to help as many other people as possible also come to that same realisation, okay? And it's all about working smart. It's about questioning our reality to a certain degree, okay? It's questioning, why do you think like that? What makes you think that? What's happened in your life? Who's told you that? And it goes back to what I said earlier about, are they qualified to actually give you that advice, okay? And hopefully I can show them through my own experiences and sort of hold their hand and take them down that way and be like, right, look, there's actually a better way to live your life. And we spoke about this in a previous episode slightly, where I don't view me as having a work-life balance. I've just got a life, okay? And I wake up every day and I'm happy, okay? And I can wait. This morning I got up super early because we had that meeting, okay? But I was knackered by the afternoon and I had a nap.
I love that.
I had an afternoon nap today, okay?
Well, can I give you a fun fact?
You can indeed.
I had a power nap yesterday or the day before. I went out on Saturday. I had too many Chateauneuf de Papes, right, and Dennett's Lager. And on the Sunday, my mum came round and I was absolutely shattered. So I heard this wee trick that the Navy SEALs do, where you go for an 8-minute power nap, but you lie on your back and put your feet on the sofa. Wow. I was feeling pretty good. I only went to sleep for about 10 minutes. And I mean, I went for a sleep. I was drooling and dreaming. And I woke up, I stayed up till midnight. It's just like, what, you're not tired? I went, no, I'm fine. So whatever happened, if it was psychological or whatever, but I felt, yeah, I'm fine now. Because I can sit on the sofa after a day's work, whether it be physically or mentally, I'm just tired and I'll fall asleep, and I can fall asleep like that. And I know that's not quite right in my body. So my body's telling me something. You need to get some sleep, son. But
You should listen to it.
yeah, and and unfortunately, I don't tend to listen to it. I just keep powering through, and I know that's wrong. And I think it's when you get older, they say you get wiser. But it's getting to that time where I hope I don't leave it too late. I need to really, really think about that. You know, and it's true because we procrastinate a lot. I know I procrastinate about that, and you know, it's my health at the end of the day. It's one of the most important things. If I'm not healthy, how am I going to get longevity in this life?
Going back to what we were talking about there, I've realised there's been a theme between the four of us. We just want to enjoy life.
That's it.
That's pretty much what is narrowed down to the four of us.
So, how do you enjoy life, Kev?
Me? How do I enjoy life? Doing what brings you joy. I think we get lost in this idea that we need to have a certain profession, even sleeping 6 hours or not having a siesta, not having a cat nap. Whereas if we understand that different wherever you are in the world, people do things differently. And you don't need to be even the average of the people around you, your family. Just do you. And it's so tricky because you've been indoctrinated by the things and the people. I don't know how controversial it can be, but or conspiracy.
Go for it.
It's the government, it's the media, it's all sorts. People poo-poo social media, but if anything, I do think that social media is the rabbit hole.
Sorry, it's poo-poo.
Absolutely.
Those words actually just leave
man.
your lips there. Okay.
Absolutely, but PG at all. For your kids as well, Johnny. It's everyone's welcome to this podcast. It's just to be that child again, and it doesn't matter that judgment or whatever. Just being you, going back to what would you do, what would you become if you weren't judged when you were 2, 3, 4 years old and no one had any expectations of you, and you could literally sing and dance and draw and paint and you run around naked. You could do whatever you want. Be that beautiful you, because that is that unadulterated you.
You could shit your pants and it was okay.
And it's okay. No one's judging. Who's judging you?
Exactly.
You know what was interesting? They did an advert or a video out there, and it was a black kid and a white kid, and we would see that black and white, Chinese, whatever. and they says, what's different with you and your friend? And they never once mentioned that, race, anything. They just said, she likes apples and I like banana. I was like, oh, that's so cute, but it's so poignant. The moment, like, kids don't see what we see. And why do we see it like that way? What's taught us that? And it is life and people, the right and wrong people around it, but it is just life. You pick up things and you pick up information. Is it not till you, like, it's the first 4 years you're just a sponge, you pick up everything? But I heard something that you're still not developed until you're, like, at least 17, is that? Am I right? I mean, you might know more than that.
I'm a
I've
wannabe
heard something
psychologist.
I want to be psychologist.
But my proposal, my hypothesis, I really should be doing a PhD. My proposal is that I do genuinely believe that we are children in human adult bodies because we have the wants and desires to be loved, to be safe. And we feel as if we're in control, but whether it be marketing or branding, we're still absorbing. If someone said certain things, we have to be careful of who we're around. Exactly what you just said 10 minutes ago. Because we're still absorbing, but we're just so good at numbing us and putting it to a side that we don't listen to our bodies. And we know the best. If you really think that, if you think about Gary Vee and he talks about probability of us being alive in this very moment, egg, sperm cell and all those things, that we've hit the jackpot by just being alive. So there's magic in that. And especially being Cammy here, of course.
Magic, did you bring any cards with you?
I've not, no. I've not, no, because I know that I have to go.
Opportunity, there you go, hashtag that one, opportunity.
Always.
Has been missed. Well, it's okay, we know how great you are anyway.
I'm all right.
That's
I'm
a tenner
all right.
for me, please.
Would you make that disappear?
Oh, I certainly would. I'd be going straight to that snack van for a salad roll. Obviously, because I'm looking after myself, because I'm an athlete. Exactly. So, what is there any other topics? I mean, with viewers out there, listeners out there, is there anything that you want to throw out there that you feel that could be digested really well in today's marketplace for newbie entrepreneurs, startups, even somebody that's been in business for 5 years? Is there anything from your thoughts and your wisdom that you would want to share?
I'll go quickly first, just because I need to leave in 2 minutes. So I'll be jumping out of this podcast in the next 2 minutes because I have to pick my daughter up.
Oh, excellent. Don't be late.
So I would say it's Andy's taught me this over the last few weeks, or maybe a few months, is if you are interested in the business world and your parents are saying don't do it, etc., try it, but get proof it's going to work first. Don't do it. Don't get proof as in check that someone else can do it, because obviously it could work in that way, but maybe start a waiting list or and don't even build the product until you've actually done it. And if it's a business you've always wanted to do, go out and do feelers and learn. And that doesn't mean procrastinate. That doesn't mean spend the next 9 years working out if it's going to work or not, because anybody could do that. I said I was going to do a YouTube channel for 6 years. I'm only starting it now. So, I mean, there's things like that. But if you're like, you know what, I want to try this training course, instead of spending your entire 6 months and every single penny you earn building that training course, start a waiting list. Grab 5,000 email addresses of people that are actually interested in it, and then you've pretty much got proof that this should work, because I've now got 5,000 people that want to do that training course. And that's just something that I've learned.
Brilliant. That is actually, I remember you mentioned that as well in the past.
Market validation.
Yeah, that's the word I couldn't think. I just made a long-winded version. I should have just said market validation.
Listen, I'm like that as well. I just like, I have to tell the story like by in a minute long.
I'm going to add to that. I'm going to add to that because Kev spoke about 90-day sprints. And I really like that. So you spoke about not doing it for 9 years and procrastinating. So here's an idea. Put every single fibre of your being into this idea for 90 days. Try and do some market validation. Start a wait list. See if people are interested. If after all that effort and that time has passed, you don't get any nibbles or you don't feel like it's going anywhere, shit can it. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you
You
want.
said a lot worse already.
You're
so
gonna
I mean,
hit
you're
it
fine.
anyway.
I am the master of my ship. It's all right.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Good point.
Excellent.
Anything from you?
Oh, always
Kev?
something to give.
Yes.
Always something to give. If you're asking, I'm giving.
Yes.
It's always psychological, of course, because what you think and how you feel matters, and it does.
Yeah,
Just
somebody's
like
coming in.
magic.
It's okay.
okay.
We're still live, but don't worry about it. Say that again.
We're away from upstairs.
No worries at all.
Sorry,
Thank you very much. That's all right.
She's away. She's away
That's
from
it.
upstairs.
Well,
See,
on that
we
note, I am going to
improvise.
sneak out the building also because I do need to go and pick my daughter up, and I don't want to be the worst dad in the world. So
No, don't do that. We'll continue this. This is where the best bits come down anyway.
We'll talk about you when you're away.
I'm kidding. I'm
Check out
kidding.
the podcast later on.
See you
See you
later.
Have a good one. You ready for it? So
Yes, I'm
that
ready
was a
for
little
it.
bit of a what do you call it? A cliffhanger.
Oh, I was, aye.
You ready for this?
I am.
Your problem is not your problem. And I've been observing people and asking them questions, and they throw problems in their own way. That they don't have the mics, they don't have this, they don't have the people, they're too old, they're too young, they just don't know it yet. They need to wait for them to be perfect. Your problem is not your problem. And if I circle back to actual problem, I can bet my bottom dollar, 99.9%, your problem is your not failure, but your fear of judgment of you failing, or the fear of judgment, whether it be someone that you don't even know that doesn't really care about you, and that really doesn't matter. It's the fear of judgments that's stopping you from doing you. Let go of that, because that's what's stopping you. So confront yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, write down that problem, and I say just balls to it. Like, you're talking lies, because you'll find a way. Ask Google, ask ChatGPT, email these guys here. You'll find a way. That there's Google, there's Siri, there's Alexa. Ask anyone. You're not allowed to say, I can't and I don't know. You've got the wonderful Johnny who's learning technology. There's always a way. So I'm not letting you give yourself that excuse anymore. Your problem is not your problem.
Well,
Drop the mic.
drop the mic, boom.
Excellent.
That's so true. Can I ask another one then?
Keep going. I'm here all night.
I'm going to put it on the main camera. Because you know when you're actually doing this, you've got to try and figure out who's talking. And there's a few times that everybody's got it. And I'm not even talking. Rewind.
Always a remix.
How authentic, I'm trying to articulate this in the right way based on my life events. How authentic are we? Because I'll choose me the now. So something my wife said as well, you know, you're not the normal you when you're around family. Sometimes you're more subdued or you're annoying, these kind of things. So I think it's, am I presenting the best version of myself when I'm going out and about, when I'm day-to-day life? Am I happier out within the family? And that's not true. But it's just, when you look into yourself, like, I am happy-go-lucky all the time. But when I go through that door, there's sometimes I'm still happy-go-lucky. And I tried to analyse this and say 85% of me is a happy-go-lucky, do, and having a bit of laugh, having a bit of a dig, all these kind of things. There's 10% of me is just calm, doesn't do much, and there's 5% of me is an arse. And I'm thinking, what I could do is probably limit that 5% and make it maybe 3%. But does that change me in any way? Is I'm forcing myself in the wrong direction? I think the question I'm trying to ask, is that still being authentic in your mind? And who are you? Who's the real Kev? Who's the real Andy? Because we do put a glossy mag over sometimes, and you want to be authentic. I feel I'm being authentic here. And we're tripping up and being giggly and juvenile. And, you know, when you're talking about we're just kids really in adult bodies, I think that's 100% true. But who are we? I know that sounds quite philosophical, but who are we? Are we the real version of ourselves when we're partners? When shit's hitting the fan? Is that the real us? Or are we multiple people at given times of the day?
So I think that we need to just accept that humans behave the way they behave. Okay, and let's not try and change that, because it's hardwired into us to behave like that, okay? So for me, being authentic just simply means just being, like, acting with integrity. Okay, I'm going to use some buzzwords here, all right? But essentially it's just not lying, not saying you're going to do something and not doing it, don't be a dick, right? Is the best way I can describe that, right? It's the simplest way, right? It's just be you, okay? But people have shit times, right? So that 5% where you say you can be a bit of an arse, right? Everybody can be like that, all right? The human brain is you know, if you look at even just like the core, like you've got the limbic system, right? That's like fight or flight, okay? That's evolved or been designed, whichever way your methodology is, right? to be a response, and it's like that to actually, it's self-preservation, right? It's to save you. So if a big tiger came to you, right, you'd probably run away from it, right?
I'd probably say, shoo,
Some
shoo,
people,
go away.
aye, exactly.
Wait, my mum on you.
like some people, right, would genuinely, like, some people would get angry and try and punch it in the head.
Yeah.
Right. I know some people that would actually try and do that. They're insane, right?
Yeah.
But that's just them. All right. So just accept it. Okay. So you're saying that most of the time you're kind of happy-go-lucky, right?
Aye.
But see, even the times where you feel like you're being an arse, you're still actually just being yourself. You're still just being happy-go-lucky. You're just accepting that emotion and letting that do its thing that's been designed to do. There you go.
Psychology.
Might give you a-
Beat that, Dr. Kev.
Now, Dr. Kev, you help us out.
I would love to. Always a 2 cents
I feel
though.
like I
Always.
should be on the comfy couch there when I just said that.
The what couch?
The comfy couch.
Oh, well, we're just analysing this wonderful Johnny. I love
Yes.
this. I've always got a 2 cents, always got an opinion. I would love to, and I agree with you from your perspective, absolutely. I also want to step into what you had sprinkled throughout, which is you're this happy, jolly, positive person. And I'm also curious if you feel as if you need to be that positive, jolly person because you need to do it for the people around you and your family. And when you talk about authenticity or what truly is you, grammar, is that right? And what I would personally, I'm not people saying people have to do what I do, but when people ask, how am I literally pause and ask myself that question and give them my answer. Because quite often people say things like, I'm just fine. And are you being authentic or are you just psyops? Are you just thinking that they're not going to listen, so I'm just going to say fine and I'm going to be that positive, happy Johnny because they expect that from you?
I think so. From a young age, well, not from a young age, years and years ago, when I was still at school, I did have what they call depression, and I was that low. I wanted to kill myself, but then I was too scared to kill myself. And I remember doing things, going down to my mate's grave and playing guitar in the middle of the night, doing really strange things to try and block stuff out. And what I realised was just going to sleep was the best thing. Now, this seems a bit strange, okay, because I am not religious in any way. I really am not religious. But, I everybody else, each their own. Can't believe I'm actually saying this on a microphone, actually. I lay in my bed one night and there was something at the bottom of my bed. Honestly, there was something at the bottom of my bed. I don't know what it was. Wasn't it big? It was just, you know what it was like? It was like Tinkerbell. Genuinely. And it just flew around my room. And I looked at it and, I was happy. I was okay. I went back to sleep and I went to school the next day and there was a buzz in me. And then a wee while later, things went a bit sour with me. Nothing, terrible. I just felt bad. And then I went to the comfy couch and spoke about my feelings. And it was the first day that I ever confronted it. And I was probably about 18 months into feeling that way. And it all stemmed from alcohol. Having alcohol poisoning. And fast tracking that, I came out of it after it and I felt great. And I think in the, excuse me, my ears are popping, 20 years, I reckon I've only felt that twice. And once I was in Wakefield watching a U2 gig, no, Cardiff or Wakefield. I was watching a U2 gig, I was in the pub, my mate went away to the toilet. They came back, and before that I had this overwhelming feeling coming on to me, and I went, I know what this is again. And the moment he came back, I just exploded and I just told him everything. I felt like it was like the paracetamol for it. And he was like, what? What's going on? I went, I did that, I felt like that, I did that, I did this, just shut up, I want to tell you this. And it went, it vanished. And I've always attacked my fears. And I've learned that that's how my coping mechanism is. But when people say, how are you, Johnny? You may be talking about this, I always say living the dream, orgasmic, having a laugh, just amazing and pinching myself. You're not always feeling like that, but it's better to tell yourself that. And it's maybe a fight, but it's still been authentic because it's a habit, because I do it all the time. And generally, I wake up in a good mood. There's not really any days that I've really woke up feeling terrible. Even my hangover, I'm still seeing the positive in it I'll get better, it'll pass. And it was something that a good friend of mine, Natalie, actually said when we were in Amsterdam. I did things I should have done. With the wife, we had something, what we call cannabis.
The wacky
I was called what I would call a melted welly. And the fear just came right in. And I mean, the ultimate fear came in. I felt terrible. And Natalie, she was a beacon of light that day when she went, it'll pass. Don't worry, it'll pass. She has no idea how that made me feel, but I held on to the words. It's like just holding that rope to pull me up. And I got past it. And it is, everything will pass. You know, and that famous word, yet. I can't do that yet. And it's back to what you've said as well. You know, there's no such as I can't. You know, I can't do yet. You know, I have to push yourself. So I generally feel I'm being authentic every single day. I've just now got habits of saying things, but I mean them. And it comes from a darker place. So anybody that's felt like that or feeling like that, there is always hope. But you have to take the next step, do something different than what you did the day before or the minute before, and you just break down your day. But my head is extremely powerful. It's extremely strong. I'm very resilient. I can get through things quite quickly. And there's things that's happened in my life that some people go, how the hell did you do that? You just have to see a different picture. Put perspective on it. Yeah, and back to you're only going to live once.
YOLO, let's go.
Yo-yo, was that hashtag yo-yo, let's go?
Yellow, let's go, absolutely. You can call it whatever you want now, just...
Guys, you got,
make it so.
You've got to be positive. And, you know, you can be 5% annoyed, 10% calm, 85% jolly, juvenile. But you've got to decide what you want to be and who you want to be. And, you know, that's what I've got out from this. You know, Cammy saying nice things about me, that's a nice feeling that you've the gift of giving to somebody else. And you undervalue what value you create for other people sometimes. Especially you have given me value just in this conversation today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I generally feel I am being authentic, but I just, there was a concern of why am I like that, and then going home and calm, and then I'm angry, and then I'm this. And you're right, it is probably you're just human.
Just the way we're built.
Yeah, it is. So anything to add on that?
I would like to ask our listeners. Okay, so this is the Business Babble podcast.
Yeah, we should have started with that.
That would be a good intro. I imagine that.
It's still up there. It's still working.
Yes. We've went quite deep today.
Oh, we've went deep.
We've went deep. We've went really, really deep. Right.
You see, Vickers' voice is a lot deeper than that. It's scary.
Is it?
Scary. And Mike, to be fair, I've more.
So got a Barry White voice, is it?
Barry White.
Speak to Wales.
That was not Barry White that you just said. That was that was Bane from Batman.
I'm Batman. See, when we listen, in fact, we're not getting to listen to this back. No, it's going to get put out there.
So anyway, I'd like to bring it back to business. Okay, because we've went really deep. And it's been really, really good. But let's bring it back to business. And I would like to ask our listeners, why are you in business? What do you want it to do for you? And I just, between now and the next episode, just give that some thought. And please email in with your answers and we'll read them out on the next episode.
Andy will read them out in the next episode.
I
don't even know the passwords to get into this email address. But you, Vickers and Mike, that's what you're good at.
Yeah.
You do that.
So tell us, what's the reason that you're in business? What's the driving force? What is it doing for you, or what would you like it to do for you?
There we go. And Kev, because this is what happens, my mind just goes, I was getting a bit stale there, and then I've just came up with something else there. So what do you want from your business?
I'm going to turn it on its head and what I'm serving. I believe that I'm just here to serve. There's a military saying, which is to lead to serve to lead. And I want everyone to know their potential and live it. That's my job. Yes, you could call me the teeth whitening guy, the Botox and filler guy. Those are simply the tools and the vehicle to get you there. But I'm here to meet you where you're at and get you to where you want to be. So putting a mirror in front of your face and reminding you that you're only going to live once. When are you going to go? When are you going to go, YOLO, let's go? Let's
Right.
happen. Let's do it.
So how do people discover you? How do we find out more about you? Where do they go to?
Absolutely. You can find me on The Syringe Psychologist on Instagram. And my headquarters is House of Ikigai. And you can find that on Instagram and on my website too, house-of-ikigai. Andy might be able to help me out with finding actually the domain name without the dashes. But
What's a dash? Never heard it.
hyphens.
What's a
It's a
hyphen?
dashy brown sauce.
Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Sorry.
Well, guys, it's been truly great having you on here. I thank you for your time. I know time is important to us all.
Time is fleeting.
Say that again?
Time is fleeting.
I know, especially I'm just waiting to see if I've got a text message from my lovely wife. Say dinner's on, or get your backside back here. But I would like to finish off with our strapline. This is your world. Shape it, or someone else will. So guys, have a great day, great night, and stay tuned for more. Cheers.